Yo, I told you it's just a matter of time before I figure it out. Now that I got it figured out, expect them videos back to back, baby. Exposing all the elbows and faking.
This is not a prop. If the feds listen, let them know they ain't got no jurisdiction. Islam is.
Yo, YBH.
I don't respond to hate for more. Been loading up knowledge, been ready for war. They think I'm sweet, I'm really the Lord. I got the keys to open the doors. They head is dead, they mind a morgue. They can't play this game, they not on the...
And
Test. I'm in the club. Not looking good. When I gotta show my face. It's not looking good.
SMV Mix.
Everybody put their files up in the air. We gotta give honors what honors is due, draw.
Alhamdulillah.
To all the black stones around the world, the ones that put us in tune with the five eyes principles known to man.
Wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah.
The ones that got us righteous out here.
Wa ala alihi.
The ones that laid the foundation.
Wa ashabi.
All right, I'm live for show this time. I'm live and I got to show my face for the home team. He and them Grand Rise teacher in the building. I don't see myself. There I go. If I got to show my face, you know it's Sid. Because I'm on one's playing. Young wise teacher defeating time and age in the building. Once again, the wise teacher is back. The grand wise teacher is back. You heard me? Taking over for the 40 and 50-year-olds. Go on and sit on down, old timers. I know you got to take it on the chin. You 40, you 50, you look old, you slow. You got to take it on the chin because the 1980s is the new leaders. 60s and 70s, go take your seat. Go have a seat because you can't beat us in fights. Your brains is not quicker than ours. Y'all old. You grew up eating pork, doing drugs. That's what I'm saying. We is the new talk of the time. So let me keep it abrupt. This video is going to be a replay of Commission Adept, a self-proclaimed YouTube Moor. You see individual Moor. I think he represented Temple. I'm not sure, but he got some videos on here. And I've been on his channel before, but I don't know him personally. I just been on his channel. I know he's a media. So we're going to go right into that. And I'm not going to waste my time running my mouth. I'll do that on the commentary. So let's stop the cam. As you can see, I had to show the old face. Because when I do a video on you, I expect you to say something back. I don't expect you to ignore me. And that's what most people do. And they just keep on playing games with my name. As if I didn't do a video on it. And expose what they don't know. I think the word is ineptitude. Okay, share the screen. Now, this is going to be on the Moore Brother, and this is my plea. I have pleaded last year with Moors to get off YouTube. Because you have a movement. You have a divine movement to get your people your nationality. Their nationality. You don't have time to be on YouTube. If you have not saved yourself, why are you on YouTube trying to give people advice? I've always said that about these Moors, but I don't like ridiculing Moors. You know. But we're going to go over if Commission Adept said his people are African slaves and Moors are from Africa. We're going to assess that ourselves on the PFSL, Grand Wise Teacher Channel. Lord of Crickets, our Lord and Savior. Right. I'm up on here, man. So I'm converting my channel back over to the old channel, my first channel, PNF Research Group. I'm going back. These are the last videos I'm doing on this channel. I'm just touching up my craft before I start this little podcast I'm about to start. Featuring on other people's podcasts as I'm getting invited to do some videos with others. And I'm about to build with some good dudes. So I'm on this channel, putting in work on YouTube, I'm still watching. So here go the video right here. Let's get busy. And see what he's talking about. We're going to do a whole breakdown on this video because I ain't got nothing to do today. Yeah, no. So let's get it.
Yes, sir. Okay. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna share my screen. I'm gonna share the whole thing. That way I don't be, because sometimes I be thinking I'm shared and I don't be shared. Okay, let's see here. Okay, I'm gonna share that too, just in case I want to use my little audio. All right, and make sure I got that thing open. And whenever you ready to put that up there, so I'm already shared.
Yeah, you sharing.
Okay. So I'm trying to pull up this other. They want more presentation, right? That's the wrong one right there. The descendants of Mauritania are with the people of Morocco. And there's a grand difference between the two, and you're going to find out tonight. And you're going to see how the teachings of Kemet came across the Sahel, which is Africa. We're going to show you. We're going to get into some real detail in a minute. And you're going to see how they traveled all the way over into West Africa and how we indirectly and directly to a certain degree inherited those special teachings. You know, we give honors to our brother G.M. James because we're coming from a portion of stolen legacy as a foundation of this. So let me go ahead and get into this demonstration. We're going to harp upon the subject matter and subject titles. So anybody that come in here and want to speak on the subject matter and the subject title when we open up the floor, and we don't want to deviate, because we know people disagree, that's all right. But we want to make sure that people have understanding. If you have no knowledge of the subject matter, then hold them other thoughts for some other time. But we want to talk specifically about this. We're going to start with the points that I have here that I'm going to be dealing with. The stolen legacy of Kemet. You know, the second point is the Moorish custodians of the wisdom teachings. Of Kemet. And also 3, the Kemetic origins of Sufism and the Sirah people. And boy, saw when I get into these Sirah people, a lot of people have no knowledge of who the Sirah people is. And they have a wealth of information and they represent, you know, where. And then we have the so-called black Moors versus the so-called white Moors. So we can put an end to this argument that people been making out here. Brother John Henry Clark already made it plain, you know, that the teachings, when they went over into Africa, they wasn't took there by force, they was accepted. And he said it was no invasion, you know, it was a peaceful acceptance because our people was already on it. But later, those so-called Arabs, they the ones that came over there with the nonsense, trying to force their political agenda. And so we want to draw a line in the sand so that you know the difference between the two. The Arabs, who actually was enslaving our people, they enslaved some Moors and everything. And they was also using the title, at least the European referred to them as Moors, but they were known as the Al-Bidin. And this is why people have been getting the history confused. So we're going to get into that in a minute so you know the difference between the two. I done touched on this before, but I just never went into depth of it. You know, some people going to believe what they believe. Yes, sir. Some people going to believe what they believe, whether you give it to them or not. But I got sources, that I'm finna go into, they can't deny it. You'll be a fool to come up here and go against this. So the last portion is, you know, I touch a little bit on the Egyptian adept rite of Moorish rite of self-initiation, which is the path that we have through which Noble Drew Ali brought us and how that ties into all of this. So starting off, want to give honors to one of the great ancestors right there, Ramesses III. You know, we share, you know, a particular portion of with this one most of us do, you know, that are over here. But in Stolen Legacy, right? Greek philosophy is a stolen Egyptian philosophy. This is G.M. James' statement. So what they have been calling Greek philosophy, you know, is bogus. I even go so far as to say no such thing as a Greek language, because what they are calling Greek is really Phoenician. You know, it was called something else prior to that. So it's quite natural that you should call it what it was before the Greeks tried to take their little stuff and remix it, and, you know, as they like to call themselves, you know, but the original people, even in the place that they are calling Greek, they like to put pale skin images on these people, but we actually have a deeper history. You know, and we can show you that the original people all the way up to like 500 AD look just like our people. Most of the busts that you will find over there. So, and they were known as Minoans. They were known as the Attics. They were known as they even had they referred to some of them as the Kiftihu. You know, different names they had, but this is prior to them being known widely in this era time as Greek. So this reason why you can't call this information that they are calling Greek philosophy today Greek philosophy, our brother G.M. James harped upon it in Stolen Legacy that they Greeks was out there killing the philosophers for teaching, you know, that philosophy. So why would they become champions and promote a philosophy that they was condemning and poisoning and killing people, sending them to the gallows for? That don't make no sense. So, you know, even though they use that terminology, you got people saying they part of Greek organizations and all types of stuff. You know, it ain't no different than everything else the European made up. If you accept it, that's on you. All is well. But I'm telling you that the original people that were there before them was our ancestors, even there before them. So we just want to put that out there real quick, you know. And if anybody have a question about that, I got some I can show you a little bit, but I don't want to get into that and kill this bill. This is the one of the most controversial measures I put together right here, sir. You know, when I demonstrated this measure, we had, you know, one come up and tell our people that this was speaking of aint and opie, right? Now, this is an excerpt from E.A. Wallace Bud's dictionary. And they say, Commission, you don't deal with the glyphs, and how you gonna deal with the dictionary? Well, Bud will tell you that these words right here is coming from Demotic, Arabic, and all types of other different languages. And then they transcribed them into pictures. So it didn't come the other way around. So we ain't gonna even get into that argument right there. They say, if you ain't dealing with the glyphs, then why is your name Commission? Ain't no word Commission in there on one of them Egyptian dictionaries. Stop it. So anyway, when we go into this aspect, what we find here, sir, in the entry of Budge, I don't care who came and tried to change the meaning later to aint and opie, you know, that's their opinion. In Bud's dictionary, Amen is the word. And we know who Amen is according to Kemet. This is a depiction of Amen right here. I don't care who came and changed it in a modern time and gave it another name. Budge put this here. But my main key is not so much what was put here, this word, this root word right here. Now, some people get the conflict of thinking and saying, oh, you trying to say that the Moors existed 300,000 years ago? I mean, in essence, if we go into the definition of what a Moor is, by definition, being noble birth, yeah, our people been of noble birth. Way before the term Moor became M-O-O-R, we've been of noble birth. So what we are saying, when we get into etymology, sir, and people, you can trace words by their etymology, you know, and you can actually find out about a people. You can find out who they were. You can find out who they were connected to.
Well, he better use his own advice when dealing with that word Africa. When you dealing with that word Africa, you better take your own advice.
The etymology will connect you to the land and the man. Keep that in mind. So up here, you know, I was drawing
the etymology will connect you to the land and the man.
On an excerpt from some of our questions, you know, in our 101, you know, and it says, you know, right here, what have you to say about the holy breath, right? And we say, all we can say, it is great, it is good, it was, it is, and evermore to be. Amen. Now, a lot of people don't know this word, amen. Everybody should know it now. It definitely is a derivative, you know, from the Kemetic root. And we can trace it from the Arabic aspect all the way to Hebrew, and also take it all the way back to Kemet. And there are many words that do that, like the word khatam, you know, that they say seal of the prophet. That word go all the way back to Kemet. You know, before the Quran was revealed, the word khatam means seal of the gods, before it became seal of the prophets. So there are many words that I can point out that I call strong words that existed in Kemet before they existed in Arabic or Hebrew. So this would say Kemet was the parent from whence all of these other words came. You see? Some of them anyway. But that's a whole nother lesson in itself. We're going to go into that one day for y'all too. So anyway, so I placed up here, you know, Amen is great, Amen is God, Amen is evermore to be. Amen. And I was really playing off of the measure here, Amen and more, right? Now this is the key where it gets great at. Now this isn't coming from the dictionary in this particular definition here, but I want our family to do research. If you can, Google it right now. D-double-I Mara. You know, matter of fact, you can go to Google Books, you know, because that's the best place where you'll find most of the sources, because they have it there. You know, Moorish gods, I didn't put that there. That's the actual definition.
Oh, okay. Now he talking now. He's talking. Because I think I was the first one to mention the ish mean God. I mean of God. No, this is actually not how I break it down. More God. No, I'm saying more is a derivative of God and ish is man. That's what I'm saying. This is my first time hearing this.
Of this, Demari means Moorish gods. And this is what is being in the language of the ancient Mauritanians. They were known as the Demari. They were known as Mari. And this is the root of the word Mauritanian. This will come later, but this is Demari.
There comes a time in
And this is what is being in the language of the ancient Mauritanians. They were known as the Demari. They were known as Mari. And this is the root of the word Mauritanian as well. This will come later now, but this is etymology. We're going to show it to you in a minute.
That might be sus. Moorish God. More God. So that don't make sense. See, I'm on top of this right now. I'm not gonna let him slide. So if I was to rewind this, this actually wouldn't make sense. Because he's saying the Damari means Moorish God. So you got Moorish. So Moorish should just be God. See what I'm saying? Moorish. More God. That don't make no sense. It would take me a while to really break it down, but y'all see what I'm saying. More-ish by itself is the more God. So that's like saying more God. I'm not letting them get by. At first, I was gonna work with him and say, okay, he got some little information. He got these charts up here. You know what I'm saying? He got these charts up here. You know, looking all neat. You know, it's always the ones with these PowerPoints all neat with misinformation. So let's get them right here first. He's saying D-Mar-E, this D with the Roman numerals means Moorish God, hence more-ish or more God than mere men. That makes no sense. Because if it's more-ish gods, hence more plus ish, that's like saying ish mean God. When we know ish means man. Ish don't mean God. Let's go and prove it right here. Let's go and prove it. Hold on, let's go and prove it. Let's prove that ish means man. I'm not going to let you slide, Commission Adept, because the Moors are held to a higher degree. Ish in Hebrew, because he's using Hebrew. And possibly, oh yeah, it's moving slow on me now. Okay, here it is. Okay, what did? Oh no, hold on. Face on. I knew I shouldn't even went in here. Come on. Okay, okay. Ish in Hebrew mean husband. It's like saying a man. Right here, you can see it. Woman, Isha. Hence at origin. Isha means woman, Ish means man. So more man for us means we're coming from the womb, the more. We're coming up out mother. Mother for us, we dealing with mother. We're not dealing with fake gods. We don't deal with invisible gods in more science. But somebody like the Heru Font commissioned Adept, he feels obligated to teaching, online. He feel like he can go online and speak for all of us when we know he can't do that. He don't speak for all of us. That's why the prophet wanted y'all to just stick to what he brought, not outside of what he brought, because you will be causing confusion. Now, like I say, I'm emphasizing on this. I haven't even look. We're right here. We're not even a quarter into the video. He he's on one page already contradicting himself. So if I added your name and somebody unsubscribed from me, somebody just unsubscribed. I didn't know you were subscribed to me. If you was commissioned ADAP, I'm not sure. I doubt if you subscribe to me. There's no way you subscribe to me putting this type of information out. That we from Africa. Maybe we went and dominated Africa, but we're not from Africa, especially etymology wise. So Demari could mean the god more, but Moorish gods, hence more-ish, more god. That don't make no sense. More-ish does not mean more god if ish means man or husband. Man or husband in Hebrew. So this makes no sense. Let's keep playing the video. We got them right here. Let me make a note of that. I'm writing everything down. I'm gonna get you. I'm not letting nobody slide no more. I'm gonna get you. Come on. Yeah, I'm back. Wow. Wow. I can't stand what I
We're gonna get into all that. I'm just trying to show you some things. I ain't making this stuff up. This really exists. So Moorish gods, right? More plus ish equals to us more God than mere men. That's what we are. So we more God than we are mere men. Do you agree with that, Sarnetta? We are more God than we are mere men. Our brother must be busy over there. But I know our people in the chat can agree with that, that know exactly what we're saying. So here's a definition on the word demari. You know, and they got plenty of different sources. I told y'all where to go. You type it in, you're gonna find a couple of books that go into the history of the demari, and it means the Moors. So this is one of the excerpts from one of the books, you know, and actually this is from the book called The Black God. You know, and this right here says demari, the Moorish gods, mentioned in the Latin inscriptions in North Africa, who are almost never named. And they were supposed to be the sorceries or redemptory, immortals, right? In the Agostia, as they call it, exalted. So this is what our people was demonstrating prior to the Arabs and everybody else coming in to invade them. They little stuff, so to speak, or the Romans, so to speak, before they came in. So these people refused to call us this. So they called us Berber. People think we came and no, we did not come up with that term, family. Stop letting people lie to you. We didn't come up with no term Berber. That term was given to us by the Arabs and the Romans. You know, and it meant barbarian.
For the record, I disagree with Arab and Roman. I don't think many Moors or Islamic centered teachers teach accuracy on Roman or Arab. I don't trust it. But I wanna listen to this brother. I don't want to keep cutting him off, but there's a lot of things I disagree with in my research. Right? Like Roman, I believe Rome is like Roy, king man, kingdom. So these are the royalties or the royal legion of Jerusalem. The royal legions of Jerusalem, which is the civilization family. So Romans is the families, it's make believe name and term for Royam or kingdom. Arab means west. It's this word taken from the word Maghreb. It's English slang term that these people adopt, and they fail to connect the dots and put it in proper perspective.
Because the Arabs refused to call us Moorish gods because they believe in one God. Like, no, these Negroes here ain't no gods. You know, they barbarians. And that's what a name ended up becoming an endearment later.
Right. That's a form of polytheism, whether you like it or not. You understand me? I believe more science has the knowledge of the higher self and the lower self. And Noble True Ali, he reminds us of how the information was retrieved from the sages and the great teachers of the time. How the ancient but new to us knowledge has always been the same. The truth don't change. So if the truth don't change, that means the lower self and the higher self was always acknowledged in man and mankind. You see what I'm saying? So we ain't never thought we was no gods. God means ruler of the land, right? But we understand the spiritual aspect. Yeah, God means ruler. So we're ruling in that sense. But the way he's trying to talk about God, I don't trust Commission Adept. I don't trust him to have that knowledge like a Taharka Bey. Even though him and Taharka Bey have went back and forth, but Taharka Bey does it the right way on the spiritual level, on the spiritual sovereignty, freeing yourself and your mind versus listening to somebody. So I don't understand Commission Adept. He already was quoted saying something about the Birmingham manuscript come from Alabama, and he ain't get that from me. I don't know if you was spying on my channel, but I didn't say that. I said that it was a Quran found during the Civil War. That's what I tell. That's what I teach in Alabama, coincidentally. But let's just keep listening.
Later, because we accept it like we accept all the misnomers. So what I'm showing you is the root trace on this word first and foremost before we go into anything. And this is actually a map, you know, from Africa, from like the 1600s. You know, they all out there.
See? That is not a map from Africa. He's lying. He's lying, and I don't even want to do this. But the only reason I'm doing this is because he on YouTube. When them feds wearing Moors get on YouTube, hold on, I don't know what that was about. When they get on YouTube, with their fezes on wanting to argue, because Moors can't argue. Moorish Americans can't argue and debate. When they get up here with their fezes, then they are subject to arguing and criticism. Right? So this is not a African map because this is in English. This is this is a English map. This man just lied. This clearly says English. Every last one of these Latin inscriptions. It's in Latin, but in an English dialect, which is a borrower's language. So none of this is accurate up here. None of this is the original African, what he's talking about. So he's not paying attention to what he's saying.
Mari right there. See Marum right here. See Mar right here. This is all in the region that's called Mar.
You see that? Just because he see all that Mar stuff, he's using confirmation bias. But you're doing it wrong because you said this is an African map. You shouldn't have said that. This is not a African map. This is a English person in America interpreting something he's saying in English.
Mauritania. You see? And if, as a matter of fact, a lot of people don't know, when you go into this area around this time, Africa, as we call it today, was just a little spot, up in this particular region. As a matter of fact, Carthage was once known as Africa before the whole continent became known as Africa. But that's a whole nother story. We'll get into that later. If you know history, then you know what I'm talking about. So Mauritania, right?
It actually is Africaya. And Africaya means white. It means fair. It means clean. And it's actually translated to the garden, to the West Garden. That's how it's translated in so-called Arabic.
Here, you see this word is rooted pretty much in this whole area here of West Africa. There's an important measure to draw from this. So we have another portion here, Ma'ur, and this is on the Palermo stele, which is the title of the high priest of Anu. Anybody that seen me, I demonstrate this all the time. This is the same region where these people, the Damari, were. They was in this region here, this whole region right here. Here's the names right here. Notice the names they using here, right? This whole area right here will be considered by modern scholars the Berber region. You see? But look at this name, Mozabite. This name Mozabite is another actually variation of the word Moabite. People don't know that. These are the Mozabites, and they are known.
Reach millions of buyers around the world simply. eBay International Shipping.
Algerians in most cases, and they are known as Moors. So when you understand that, then you understand why Noble Drew Ali called our people, descendants of that ancient Moabites. He didn't say modern Moor, he said ancient. In other words, he was just referring to the place. He was referring to the region, saying that we inhabited that region before anybody. He used the term that our people were familiar with because they dealt with the biblical narrative. So he talked to them in a language they understood. Our people wouldn't be able to comprehend. They still didn't get what Noble Drew Ali brought. So what you're going to find out is that we move with our teachings from all the way here, all the way across here. This is the Sahel. The Sahel is coming straight across here. And these teachings came all the way over through here, family, and reached this region. You see where it says Syria people? The Syria people. And that's why most of us have blood of the Mandinka, the Wolof. We have blood from even down here in this area here, the Ewe, all that, the Yoruba. We got all that in us. But the majority of the slaves family was taken from here.
Wait a minute. The slave. I didn't know Moors believed in the slave story. I didn't know that. This is the first time I heard an actual Moorish American believe in the slave story. Now let's go in here. He believed the slaves was taken from Africa and brought across the Atlantic when history already proved the European Slavic people came over here on the boats on videos. I don't even think this man knew about the old world buildings. I think he's one of them type of Moors. He's so Africaned out, he don't even know about the old world buildings, y'all.
You think it's a game? You think I'm playing with you? I'm finna show you right now. Watch this. Okay. Here it is right here. This is a slave voyages map, right? Now we blow this up. They're showing you everywhere. Let me minimize it a little bit. They're showing you everywhere where you got all these different routes on here, where these slaves were taken from Africa into America, right? Coming all the way over here.
Dude, it's already only one lane coming to America, which appears impossible. Okay, we see this big swirl, path, these circular patterns they're taking. So I didn't know that. I didn't know Moorish Americans taught their people was taken from Africa, because he don't look like a typical African. Because he's saying he's a Mozabite. He just said he's a Mozabite. Let's go and look at a Mozabite. He's a Mozabite. Dude kind of look like Gucci Mane though. Yeah, they got the Mozabite definitely look American though. I give them that much. Look, they gonna try to squeeze in the Europeans. The Berber Mozabite. Look, Berber. They're gonna put that Berber on you, boy. Yeah, but he went from Mozabite. This man went from this is where he got it from, the Joshua Project. Okay. He went from Mozabite. Now he's a damn Cameroonian sub-Saharan. Man, this man going crazy.
Here. Now let's stress this demonstration out again. And I want to show you the amount of slaves that was took from different places.
Okay, so how does that affect the Mozabites? Did they take the Mozabites, brother, commission? How does that affect the Mozabite people? They look like us. LaMarcus Aldridge, Scottie Pippen, Derrick Rose. What his name is, who paid for the Phoenix Suns. You know, people like that. You don't speak for everybody. You don't even know everybody commission Adept to tell somebody where they're from. And it's more proof out here. Every Moorish American ain't no African or related to an African. This is nuts. Being related to these people who went through slavery is nuts, because they automatically have to equate you to it even when you don't have a life pertaining to that. Some of us got no idea and want to celebrate slavery, but we are forced to because of these people.
People think that most of us come from just in this area here, contrary to popular belief. Let's see.
Man, this man said most of us. He just said he from the Mozabites, which is Algeria. Man, Algeria is already up north. Man, this man is not making no sense. And Algeria is like the Algonquian or the Algonquian language speaking people. Like how we found Algiers on Virginia and Algiers on the East Coast. Algiers is a certain people, Jarians, like Gary, Indiana people, Lagadere, Makaraki. Certain people, they are a different people than sub-Saharan. Now he's talking about some people in sub-Saharan as his people.
So it's showing us right here a million that was taken right here. 1,526,347 that was took, disembarked, and then like you actually had 1,892,000 that was actually embarked, and those that were disembarked, because they have all that, those who were carried off, you know, those who returned, they got all that type of numbers in here.
Okay, he's skipping over that. That don't make no sense to skip over the ones that embarked and disembarked. I don't think he comprehend what those words mean. A guy of his expertise should explain that clearer. You don't just explain one aspect to fit your narrative. What about the embark, the disembark? Look at the numbers. African port unspecified. Embark 432. Disembark. Africans carried off, Africans returning. So these are the numbers. Let's find out what embark means. Disembark. Find out that on board a ship or other vehicle. On board. So disembark. Let's get that too. Let's just get the real deal definition. Disembark. Oh, this. Yeah, they didn't even. Okay. Pass. Leave a ship. Began to disembark. So get on a ship and go somewhere and get off a ship. That's what that means. To get on and get off. Okay, let's get the numbers. To get on, to get off. 1 million in all. Okay, wow. But this is not even telling us nothing really though. Because African could also mean albino white slaves as well. We don't know who the real African is because it could be the Afrikaners. It could be the Afrikaners coming over here.
Yeah. But what I want to show you is that when you get into this particular region here, you got 877,709, well, 759, you know, and this is the Biafra region, the Gulf of Guinea, the islands, people taken from this particular region, right? And if we go on over, we have another one right here, 1,300,843,000.
He's done. This man's career is done. He's done. Much love to anybody who was a slave. I'm about to show y'all why he's done. Much love to anybody who was a slave. Watch this. Watch this. I'm going to use his own source against him. This man is done, man. He just tried to enslave y'all. The noble Drew Ali said, be careful. Your own people will try to enslave you. He don't know nothing about us. Yeah, we understand the language of Moor and Moorish and its Americanness, Western Hemisphere origin. But this man just took y'all to Africa, which goes against what Noble Drew Ali, bro. So I have to confront him. Okay, right here. Let's use Noble Drew Ali's Circle 7 Quran, the divine origins of the Asiatic nations. So you know your origin is not Africa. You know your origin is not Africa. We know that. Africa is the domain. That means the kingdom. That means where a man can rule. You cannot rule in the same house as the woman. You cannot rule in the same house as your mother. You cannot do that. So Africa became the domain or the dominion. You can ask any more. Now, the divine origin of the Asiatic nations is what he should have been teaching. He should have not been wasting his time trying to prove where no Moors is from, because it's a popular term. It's a pop word. And I've even caught myself arguing over that word when it is not the total understanding. Fallen sons and daughters of the Asiatic nation of North America. So if you are the Asiatic nation of North America, you are not going outside of America. All y'all had to do was beat him up with his own literature. Don't go outside of what Noble Drew Ali, bro. He got y'all over there in Africa where men go set up business camps and kingdoms. Noble Drew Ali said you were allowed to go and form yourself kingdoms. So that's what Noble Drew Ali said. He trying to go out his way and be fancy to connect you to some fancy words that can be anything. Now, you need to learn how to love instead of hate and to know their higher self and lower self. So if you know your higher self and lower self, you know dang on well, you're not a God in the sense of the all in all seeing I. You're not the all in all God. You know that much that, like he's trying to say, Demori, you're just looking at yourself like a God and looking at everybody else like they're not God. That's not how we get down as Muslim. Muslim understand you have to look inside yourself for God. You got to look in yourself for evil and you got to root it out and always work on yourself. This is the uniting of the Holy Quran of Mecca for teaching the instruction of all Moorish Americans. The key of civilization was and is in the hands of the Asiatic nations. the Moorish in particular, who were the ancient Moabites. So he just put the Moabite over there in North Africa with no water, with a salt sea ocean and no waters, no rivers, like the Mississippi is not ours. This man is insane. And not only are you the ancient Moabites, who would be also the builders of Morocco, you are the same people who built the famous holy city. That is so critical. And I got a magnificent video coming out about that. Where do you stand in a holy city? Who are the founders of the holy city of Mecca? The Egyptians, who are the Hamathites and the direct descendants of Mizraim, which was a powerful patriarch. The Arabians, the seed of Hagar, Japanese and Chinese. So you got to go and find the seed of Hagar amongst these people, with the Japanese and the Chinese. The Hindus of India, the descendants of the Canaanites. So the Hindus of India, that would make me think of the Khans, right? And the Hittites, the Hittites, and the Moabites of the land of Canaan. Canaan. Okay, so that's critical right there. I like that, because the Moabites of the land of Canaan, which is a relative, I would have to explain where is the land of Moab. Because this is like saying, okay, the Moabites living with Canaan. You understand me? Moabites of the land of Canaan. Right? We have to break that down. The Asiatic nations of North, South, and Central America. See, this is where we kill the African nonsense that he's trying to put y'all there. Let me show y'all. Because he just tried to prove that y'all, the Moabites, and these enslaved Africans are your people. Look, the Asiatic nations of North, South, Central America, the Moorish Americans, and Mexicans. See, he's talking about some African. He didn't forget about Mexicans. So we got a whole state down here. We got a whole country down here. Mexicans of North America, Brazilians, Argentinians, Chileans, and South America, Colombians, Nicaraguans, and the natives of San Salvador, Central America. All are Muslims. He said them was our people. Noble Drew Ali said the natives of San Salvador, Central America are your people. The Turks are the true descendants of Hagar, who are the chief protectors of the Islamic creed of Mecca, not the fake Muslim. Beginning from Mohammed the first, and you see how he spelled it. The founding of uniting of Islam by command. See the way he spelled it, we got to find that Mohammed. We are not looking for Muhammad with the U. We're not spelling it with the U for a reason. By command of the great universal God, Allah, the great universal God. So that's one God. So he contradicted himself when he said Moors was running around himself, calling themselves gods. Noble Drew Ali is recognizing the one universal God, Allah, the all in all, the all seeing. It's one universal God, and the nearest place to find that is in the heart. And we're recognizing our lower self and higher self, battling with our body, which is flesh, which is temporary. Come, all your Asiatics of America, and hear the truth about your nationality and birthrights. Know that you are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, Ethiopians, Coonshines, or Jigaboos, African American, etc., or any other label, brand, or misnomer that is cast upon you. Learn of your foremothers and forefathers, ancient and divine creed that you will learn to love instead of hate. Noble Drew Ali said that. And he put you with the natives of San Salvador, which is going back to Saladin and them. In Central America, Nicaraguan, then Colombia. He did not put you in Africa like this man, what is his name? Harufant. Harufant, I didn't forget his name already because he's pissing me off. Commission Adept. He's talking about his people. He don't look nothing like the typical African. He looked like King Cass, cousin. You know, Let's get some more audio.
Right here. And this is coming from Benin, right? The Gold Coast. Now we have 589,396. You know, so this is for people that say there ain't no slave never been. I got all that right there. If you think that it wasn't no slave trade, you crazy. So anyway,
all right, he's tripping.
58,000.
He said, if you think it wasn't no slave trade, we didn't say that. We've never said that. That's not what we're teaching. This is what we're teaching. Mission Adept. We're asking you, why don't you have this same research for white slaves? Why don't you have the same numbers? Why aren't you tracking the numbers? The phrase white slavery, 1847, to describe the slavery of Christians throughout the Barbary states, primarily Algiers. So Algiers is the home capital of Mozambique or Moabite. The terms were also used by Clifford Rowe in the 20th century to campaign against forced prostitution in girls in Chicago brothels. So they're even pimping them in Chicago. The countries of Europe signed Paris International Agreement in the suppression of white slavery. So even if the women wanted to be with you, they were still using it against you. So there you go. The Barbary states enslaving the white people at around the same time, and you're not keeping up with those numbers. You're ignoring that to focus on your so-called Black African slavery. And we don't believe it because at the same time, these Europeans, you know, we believe the Barbary were actually the Americans. We don't even believe that they were actually the Berbers. We don't believe it was them. We believe it was the Americans who was brutal against Christians, and they were called the Bavares. But I'll go over that another day. But this slave trade happened, and he's ignoring this on purpose to highlight a Black African racial slavery when this slavery was going on at the same time, and he refused to put the numbers out. So we did the number. The Europeans even did the number, and the number is over 4 million people enslaved at around this time. And that's why we have all these Europeans over here, because they're tricking them into paying taxes. Now, the slave trade that included European captives was often fueled by raids into European territories and were taken as children in the form of a blood tax from the families of citizens of conquered territories. In the mid-19th century, the term white slavery was used to describe the Christian slave. This is in the 19th century. White people or Slavic people are getting sold into slavery to the Mozambique people that he just claimed. Look at this Meccan man with his. This is going on in the 1800s. This is what they're talking about. The Moors enslaving white people. The Mozambique, this is his people. He just said it. Commission Adept. Carrie. Wow, you don't want to be a Carrie, crazy Carrie. Carrie means an enslaved woman. Oh, don't name your children Carrie. Wow. Three. Yeah. Yeah. Let's get some more audio.
1,100. This is the windward coast right here, right? And we're gonna come on up to the region that I'm talking about, where the Sierra people at in a minute. Sierra Leone. We know everybody talk about this. They always talk about Sierra Leone, right? 192,253. You know, this is disembarked. We got 216,691. You know, that was embarked. But let's go over here. The tip, 400 and 36,207. You know, and that was disembarked in 500 and well, actually 500,000 and 575 that were actually embarked.
Okay, see, like he keep confusing me. See, one went on a journey, one didn't go on a journey. So they bringing them in and they taking them out. And we don't know who the hell these people is. They just saying African, and they want you to call yourself an African. And they want you to just call yourself an African because some paper said it. This paper that this man is showing you, or this graph, this map, goes against what Noble Drew Ali brought. It says it right here. The fallen sons and daughters of the Asiatic nation of North America. What is he talking about? Some sub-Saharan Africans who might call themselves Moors or something similar, Mauritanians. Because the prophet said we went and formed ourselves different kingdoms. The Moabites, Canaanites, or the Moors went out to different kingdoms. Different kingdom mean you got your own kingdom, homeboy. If you get enslaved, that's on you. Your kingdom got enslaved. Now you're trying to say we're all slaves. Come on, we're all together. No, brother. Nobody. We are the Asiatic North American. Asia, another word for mother God. Ashaya. You, Muhammad, don't mean that he is from Africa. Mecca is another place we can find in America. Jerusalem, the builders of the holy city, dealing with Jerusalem, the caliphate. Man, he is tripping, man. This man is tripping. I'm gonna have to end this video though, but I'm gonna get a little bit more audio from this guy.
You know, and this is Senegambia and offshore Atlantic. A lot of people don't know there's a place in this region where they was taking the people from called Dakar. And Dakar is called the door of no return, family. You know, this place also Gori, right?
Now we know Goree Island, the door of no return, has already been proven to be a hoax. I'm done right here. I didn't know I didn't know. I was the first person to expose this, and then Karimio Ahal and all of them started stealing the story from me. Remember, all the clowns that was against me. I was the first one to broke this story, and notice how I'm the only one who never blew up off this information. Notice how every last one of these dudes blew up but me, and I'm the one who came with this information first. That's some wicked stuff, and I'm okay with that. I'm really okay with bearing witness to the wickedness of these dudes. But anyway, let's go to Goree Island. No slaves ever boarded a ship through it. The historian Ana Lucia Arrejal told the news agency it is not a real place from where people left and the numbers stay safe. Historians first uncovered the apparent truth about Goree Island in the 1990s. Washington Post. It is disputed. It is not a memorial. They even said Michelle Obama was crying for no reason. She's crying and having the Holy Ghost, and no slaves was ever even at the door, no return. They're lying. It's used more for a garbage dump than anything. You understand me? 33 historical studies suggest that 33,000 slaves were transferred from Goree Island, a high number for sure. A huge number to be sure, but a tiny fraction of what the island's official history claimed. And of those, perhaps zero were moved from the house of slaves or out of its door of no return. Historians say the door faced the ocean so the inhabitants of the house could chuck their garbage into the water. So the people living there, the city dwellers, the rich people, was just using it as a garbage can. No slaves ever boarded a ship through it. So this man is off. He should not. Yeah, that's on y'all. I've been around for a long time teaching, because this is what happens when y'all let these dudes get around here and get too comfortable lying, just making up stuff. So we've already caught Commissioner Adept talking about the Birmingham manuscript. I got the clip. I can show you the clip. He was on Side Netta talking about the Birmingham manuscripts were found in Alabama, which is not true. But he does got good information on the Aramaic script and the Hieratic script. So let's get a little bit more audio because he's really dropping the ball right now, man. You didn't even know Gory Island was fake. So I know he's lost if you think he's from Africa.
Right? So when we blow it up, here we have them here. This is the region that we're going to be touching on, you know, and as it relates to the people, our ancestors, and how a lot of this came, because some of the oldest people that ever came here in 1453, they came from Senegal and they arrived in Mexico. You know, when we go into the history, prior to Columbus ever coming here, they was here already. You know, we got this in the records, you know, according to it. I mean, you can go and look it up. So this region here is what we're going to focus on, you know, but this whole region here, all these people were referred to, are being referred to, they are known, even though they are the Wolof, you know, the Futa Toro and so forth and so on, they have these different names. They also are known as Moors. Facts. This ain't nothing we making up. These people are known as Moors. We're going to get into it in a minute now. Like I told you, we ain't come to play today. So this particular region right here, you can see all this everywhere where they was took from, family. And the more that I go into it and blow it up, you know, the more you can see, you know, as far as dealing with this here. So this particular region right here is the one that we referred to, Gori. You know, like I said, Dakar, see Gambia. And a lot of people don't know their influence goes all the way back over into this area as well. They was all over in Nigeria, family. This bloodline, of course, because they scattered. That's how people move. They travel. You see? I want to show you this on the map first before we get into anything. So let's see where the path went from Senegambia. And I'm doing this because that's what's in my DNA. I'm showing you where I came from. You know, this is at least one portion of my DNA. I'm 85% sub-Saharan West African. You know, and then it started over here though. It started in the Sudan, you know, in this particular region. And then my ancestors migrated, at least the maternal side, migrated straight across here. My paternal side went all the way up through here. And the further you go east, you end up in the west. So they came through the Bering Straits, according to what they say. So I got some American, you know, like small percentage.
Man, I can't even finish this video. I gotta end it right here. That's so sad. But I'm definitely doing a part 2 to this. I'm doing a part 2. So go ahead and watch this and let me know what you think. But he's dead wrong for this. And I'll be back later. Peace out.